You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, police in Aurora are searching for a man who stole a gaming machine Wednesday night.
Plus, the U.S. and Great Britain conducted airstrikes in Yemen overnight.
And we have an alert day today, and that actually continues into Sunday across the area with dangerously cold wind chills and the potential for black ice and flash freezing today. We'll have a look at that forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. It's just after 7 o'clock on this Friday morning, and it is a bitterly cold,
freezing Friday.
Dangerously cold.
I can't believe how cold it gets. I didn't realize how quickly the temperature could drop. We were normal yesterday.
Yeah, we were well above normal yesterday, going into the upper 50s, and temperatures have dropped almost 40 degrees for most of us across the area. And as crazy as it sounds, they're not quite done dropping just yet out there. This is our camera 7th and Rangeline in Joplin, and that is freezing fog and freezing drizzle that is beginning to coat the camera out there. So that's one aspect of the concerns that we have out there with slick spots for some of the area. Our camera on the Cornell complex is showing the other half of this equation, the very gusty winds out there, and they're going to stay that way for most of us as we go through the day. MoDOT cameras around the area. This is the other half of that, though, is the freezing potential on the roadways. There are wet spots still on a number of roadways around the area, and with the temperatures continuing to fall so quickly, flash freezing is absolutely a possibility. It is a concern, leading to patchy black ice, which means you've got to slow down, give yourself time to get where you're going out there. KDOT camera south of Pittsburgh, 69 still a bit on the wet side as well, but it does look a little drier. We've got snow stretching from I-44 back through Monette, Mount Vernon, Cassville, Bentonville, and even a little bit of freezing rain in southeastern Berry County. Otherwise, not much out there, and we're not expecting much in the way of snow. We did deal with severe weather last night. Hail reports in the blue, upwards of 3/4 of an inch in diameter. The green indicate wind reports of measured wind gusts of 60 to 70 miles an hour, and the orange dots in Benton and Berry counties, those are wind damage reports with downed trees and power lines in those areas. Winter weather advisories for Kansas and Missouri until noon today, and for Oklahoma and Arkansas through 10 a.m. And again, this isn't for snow. This is for that flash freezing potential leading to black ice and slick spots out there. We also have wind advisories, Missouri until midnight, Oklahoma and Arkansas till 6. And out in these areas, we could see winds gusting today upwards of 40 to 50 miles an hour. We have a wind chill watch still through the bulk of southeast Kansas through Tuesday morning. And we have wind chill warnings in our northern counties until noon on Tuesday. And in these areas, wind chills could drop as far as 30 below zero. So we do have a high impact from the wind and the cold, medium impact from the ice today with that potential for flash freezing, low impact from the snows. We're really only expecting about a dusting to a ½ inch in most locations. 24 in Joplin, 20 in Pittsburgh right now. Out to the west, temperatures continue to fall. We're in the teens through most of southeast Kansas. We're falling back through the 20s. Remember, earlier this morning, Cassville was sitting at about 40. They're down to 32 now. Wind chill values below zero in northwestern portions of our viewing area, and they are just barely above zero for a good number of us as wind chills continue to fall across the area. Well, more on the dangerously cold temperatures and what we're expecting as we head into this weekend here in a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Authorities in Vernon County, Missouri say an inmate at the county jail died Wednesday night, apparently of an overdose. They say jail staff discovered 3 inmates in a cell that were overdosing. 2 of them are now recovering, but 1 died. The Missouri State Highway Patrol is taking over the investigation. And police in Aurora, Missouri say a man stole a gaming machine from a store by pretending to be from a company called Torch and walked out with it. This is surveillance video of the incident. It happened around 6:30 Wednesday evening at the Shiner store at 3100 South Elliott in Aurora. Authorities are now searching for the man and the U-Haul box truck he loaded the machine onto. The license plate number of the truck is AH27088 with an unknown state. An animal shelter in Miami is offering residents free straw to keep animals warm during the coming deep freeze if they can't be brought inside. Residents can pick up the straw at the Catcher Kahili Animal Shelter at 725 D Street Northeast. The shelter bought the straw using a donation from Nestle Purina Pet Care. It's available on a first-come, first-served basis. And a reminder, many communities across the area have warming centers where people can escape the cold. They include a number of libraries, senior centers, and other facilities. Some are open only when temperatures drop below 32 degrees, and access might be limited to business hours. And many will be specific rules to ensure public safety. You can find a list of dozens of area shelters along with contact information on our website at koamnewsnow.com. And the U.S. and the United Kingdom on Thursday carried out strikes against multiple Iranian-backed Houthi targets in Yemen. Fighter jets and Tomahawk missiles targeted Houthi radar systems, drone shortage and launch sites, as well as storage and launch sites for ballistic and cruise missiles. Late Thursday, a top U.S. Air Force official said more than 60 targets were hit at 16 Houthi militant locations. More than 100 precision-guided munitions were used. In a statement released by the White House, President Biden said that the strikes were a direct response to Houthi attacks against international ships in the Red Sea. He also added that he will not hesitate to order future strikes. Biden says the U.S. and U.K. also had support from Australia, Bahrain, Canada, and the Netherlands. A senior official said that the Houthi attacks on Red Sea shipping on Tuesday marked the final straw that culminated in Biden giving the green light for the strikes. Up next, Pittsburgh High School is set to host its 5th annual Bill Hanson Memorial Tournament. We'll hear from the Pittsburgh High varsity coaches. And later, a native Parsons, Kansas resident has their life shared through film and music. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
After you've been hurt on the job.
And more surprises.
Hosting was the only way I could hold one of these.
The 75th Emmys this Monday, live on Fox.
Pittsburgh is about to get a little crowded next week as the Bill Hanson Memorial Basketball Tournament gets underway. Dalton Gromer and Jordan Woods join us this morning to share what you can expect and when you can watch. Welcome, coaches. All right, so tell us all about this tournament. When does it kick off?
This Thursday. Yeah, this Thursday is our first game. The girls will play at 4. When do you guys play on Thursday?
We play at 7 o'clock against Willard, Missouri, our first game.
All right, so tell us about the teams. There's a lot of people that are going to be competing in this. Where are they all from?
So on the boys' side, the 2 top returning teams, if you will, are Blue Valley Northwest, who obviously they've won the last few state championships in basketball in their classification. And then last year, Owasso, Oklahoma, they have a really talented team with some young up-and-coming players. Those are the 2 teams to kind of watch and look for, as well as our team.
Yeah, on the girls' side, we'll have our first game against Kickapoo. They're a really good team. Carl Junction's there too. They've been really good for a couple of years, so it'll be tough to get through it. Yep.
I love that. And is it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it's 4 days.
Yep.
It's a long tournament.
It's a 3-day tournament.
3
Yeah,
days.
Yeah,
so,
3
yeah,
days.
it's back to and it kind of prepares you for later on in the year when if you're trying to make a late season run where you're playing multiple teams in a short amount of time and just need to compete and play your best basketball.
And this is called the Bill Hanson Memorial Tournament. Tell us, who was Bill Hanson? What is the legacy that he leaves behind?
Yeah, Bill Hanson, he coached me in middle school, actually. He was an awesome guy. I had him for 2 years. He was a great guy, and he passed not too long ago, and we kind of have this to honor him. So it's kind of a big deal around, yeah.
Yeah, he just loved the game of basketball, and in this community, we just wanted to make sure to kind of continue to honor him and keep the love of basketball going.
I love that. And so who are our big players that we should watch out for during this tournament?
For us, we have Mason English. He's put in a lot of work over the years, and he kind of helps lead our team and make sure we're ready to go night in and night out, and just he's a good leader for us.
Yeah, we've got Jackie Hall, our only senior. She puts a lot of points for us. She's a good distributor of the ball, so yeah, she's definitely one to watch for us.
Sounds exciting. Okay, and so it all kicks off on Thursday. Where is this all being at?
This will be at the high school, Pittsburgh High School.
Pittsburgh High School starting on Thursday. Sounds pretty fun. Well, thank you, gentlemen, and best of luck to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back with more news after this.
The Epic Sell-Off is on now at Furniture Row. 2028 Epic Styles, Epic Selection, all with epic savings, only at Furniture Row.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:14 now on this Friday morning. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to start with winter weather advisories. Kansas, Missouri through noon today. And for Oklahoma and Arkansas, these run until 10 a.m. And this, I want to emphasize, is not necessarily for the concern of snow. It's the concern of flash freezing from last night's rain. We're looking at the possibility of black ice as temperatures drop rapidly across the area, leading to a number of different slick spots out there. We also have wind chill watches for the bulk of southeastern Kansas through Tuesday morning, and then we have wind chill warnings in our northern counties, including Burlington, Butler up there until noon on Tuesday. So out in this area, wind chills could be upwards of 30 degrees below zero. Then we also have wind advisories. Missouri until midnight, Oklahoma, Arkansas until 6 o'clock this evening. And in this area, winds could gust upwards of 40 to 50 miles an hour across the area. So in terms of our winter weather impacts, at least through today for sure, high impact from the wind and the cold, medium impact from the ice for flash freezing, and a low impact from the snow, because right now we're really looking at best, a dusting to a half inch of snow across the area, with better chances for snow along into the east of the 69 corridor. And we could see maybe an inch in a couple of spots, but it's really not going to add up to very much out there. We do already have some snow falling across the southern part of our viewing area, south of Monette into Berry, McDonald counties and Benton counties out there, and that does include a stretch of I-49. Zooming out, take a look at all of this severe weather that's taking place off to our south and east. Tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings. They are dealing with a lot going into Mississippi and now into Tennessee out there as well. And then we dealt with severe weather last night across the area. The blue are hail reports up to 3/4 of an inch in size, and the green measured wind gusts in Benton County from 60 to 70 miles an hour. And those orange circles in Berry and Benton counties, those are wind damage reports. We had trees and power lines downed in some locations from the storms we got last night, which are now dissipating just south of Chicago. KDOT still reporting roughly the same. We've got some slick spots on 75, parts of 54, and then through Burlington, Garnett, and Mound City out there, so watch out. And on terms of Missouri, still reporting clear roadways down in our zone down here. So we've still got clear roadways, but again, as these wet spots freeze, patchy black ice is going to become the biggest concern as we go through today. Downtown Joplin, our camera on the Cornell complex, it is very breezy. We've had some light freezing drizzle out there, and of course we're dealing with the gusty winds. MoDOT cameras around the metro still showing you can see these patchy areas where the roads are still a bit wet, and that's what we've got to watch out for with that potential of that freezing. And of course with black ice, it looks just the same as the pavement, and you're not going to know you're on it until you start sliding, so you've got to slow down and watch out there. KDOT camera south of Pittsburgh also looking halfway decent out there. We look at both of them, even the one at Kansas Crossing. 69 has some wet spots, not nearly as wet as it is further to the east, but you still want to watch out there regardless. Freezing drizzle and fog has kind of iced over our camera at 7th and Range Line as well. Here's the snow through the late morning into the afternoon. Again, better chances along and east of 69. And it'll clear out by the afternoon hours, and we'll be left with cloudy skies, cold, breezy conditions, and maybe a few flurries here and there. As we head to our Saturday, in terms of the precipitation, looks great. We could see a few stray flurries here and there, partly cloudy skies. It is going to be dangerously cold, though, as we go into Saturday. By Saturday evening, lows or temperatures already falling into the single digits for most of us. Then we go into Sunday. We start, a lot of us, below zero out there by Sunday morning, and then we're going to see snow by the afternoon, evening hours. The better chances for accumulating snow are basically I-44 and south, and then right along and south of the Kansas-Oklahoma border. It's still a lot of debate on exactly what's going to happen in terms of snowfall totals, but in this zone, we're looking at better chances for maybe upwards of 4 inches of snow, and this could continue into our Monday morning. Quick look at temperatures. We're set at 24 in Joplin. Winds are gusting upwards of 26, making it feel like it is 10. Temperatures around the region, again, further west, that Arctic blast settling in. We're in the teens, and we've already beginning to fall through the 20s for across a good portion of the area. Wind chills for most of us now in the teens. teens and single digits. And out where that Arctic blast has really been going, we're already below zero with those wind chills. So alert days again today, tomorrow, Sunday. Snow possible, snow, temperatures into the teens, overnight lows single digits or below zero. We warm up just a bit Wednesday and Thursday into the low 30s. Another round of potential snow on Thursday. And it gets us cold again. Overnight lows single digits below zero. Temperatures falling back as well. So dangerously cold. That's the message we want to send over the next few days across the area. Make sure you're taking precautions. Let's check your forecast. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hi, I'm Dow Quick.
Tamron Hall, this morning at 10, right here on Fox 14.
Well, the Route 66 Theater in Webb City will host the Great Wonders Uplift Film Festival this weekend. Attendees will be able to watch a musical movie that tells the story of a Parsons, Kansas fashion trailblazer.
KOAM's Fernanda Silva spoke to the director and lead actress of Nellie Dawn, the musical movie.
She created that in between. I want to go out and look nice, but I don't want to wear a petticoat and tights. And women at home had like scrubs that they would wear, frocks for doing the house. And her brilliant idea was like, why do we have to wear gross scrubs, ugly, frumpy things around the house? What if they were beautiful? And that kind of bridged the gap for women's daytime wear.
The creative mind actress Julie Pope is referring to is Neil Quinlan Donnelly Reed, a Parsons, Kansas fashion trailblazer. Nellie Dawn, the musical movie, offers a glimpse into the life of one of the first self-made female millionaires in her significant contributions to the fashion world in the 20th century.
Obviously, she has all these amazing achievements in history, you know, the money, the dresses, the factory. Being a woman at the time doing all of that was incredibly revolutionary. But what I think was so fascinating was her personal story, and that's really where the musical is really cool.
The film features some of Neil's dramas, dealing with an alcoholic husband and business partner, an affair with a United States senator, and the fake adoption of her biological son. The movie was written and directed by Terrence O'Malley, great-great-nephew of the real Neil Donnelly Reed.
I always knew that the Nellie Dawn story was an interesting story, but it wasn't until I began my research into it that I realized that not only was she kidnapped, but she was rescued by the Kansas City Mafia. In our story, in our presentation of it, the Mafia are the good guys.
According to the director, Nell's rise to fame comes from a game-changing invention, the house dress, leading to 75 million global dresses sales.
The story just resonates with a lot of people because it's a great American story. It is a rags to riches story. It is a woman's story. It has a lot of, it's a love story. It's a mother's love story.
Why would you encourage people from Parsons, from where she's from, to go out and watch that movie?
She had these big dreams that were bigger than Parsons. What we really wanted people to take away was that if you want to dream big and you want to go for it, like, you can absolutely do that.
Reporting in the 4 states, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Nellie Dawn, the musical movie, is scheduled for screening at the Route 66 Theater in Webb City today at 1 p.m.
Certainly an interesting piece of history and an interesting piece of local history.
I'm very interested in hearing that story. Well, coming up, dangerously cold temps are on the way. We'll have some tips you can save money on your energy bills.
And we're going to be talking about those dangerously cold temperatures across the area in your forecast when we come back.
On urea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. The time now is 7:27 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. Well, the Miners Hall Museum is receiving a piece of history in the form of a $30,000 or 30,000-pound Inslee model K-12 dragline. The dragline will sit at the museum showcase field along with other mining antiques. Back in the glory days, this dragline was used to mine clay in southeast Kansas. Now it's a piece of history.
As far as draglines go, it's not a very big one, but it's very important because these machines are being scrapped all the time. They're worth more in scrap than they are to most people.
A larger dragline will be delivered to the Miners Hall Museum in the coming months. And a man who purchased a Powerball ticket in Jasper County is now $50,000 richer. The Missouri Lottery today announced a ticket won the prize when it matched 4 of the 5 white ball numbers plus the Powerball on the December 30th drawing. The Casey's General Store on West 7th Street in Joplin sold the ticket. The winning numbers were 10, 11, 26, 27, and 34 with a Powerball number of 7. And folks in Nevada, Missouri today got to listen to a children's choir from Africa. Watoto Children's Choir is based in Kampala, Uganda, and features around 20 children. Yesterday, they performed songs from their brand new album out Calvary Baptist Church in Nevada. Their mission is to spread a message of hope for everyone around the world.
Probably the part I like the best is just being around them. They eat with us. They'll be staying in homes of families. Where we've got 2 groups staying at our home tonight, and it's just really nice just to be around them.
The Watoto Children's Choir has been touring since 1984. And as the temperatures drop, Spire Energy is sharing some tips to help you save on your energy bill. They recommend sealing areas around your home where air could get in, including windows, chimneys, closets, and doors that lead outside. You might also save by replacing furnace filters and installing a programmable thermostat.
You do an annual furnace check is advised, and also a thermostat to where electronic thermostat to where it'll turn down in the evenings when you go to bed, and then maybe when you're away. Will really help the efficiency of your furnace and help to keep your home at a comfortable temperature.
For more tips to help you save this winter, go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And a reminder, many communities across our area have warming centers where people can escape the cold. They include a number of libraries, senior centers, and other facilities. Some are open only when temperatures drop below 32 degrees, and access might be limited to business hours. And many will have specific rules to ensure public safety. You can find a list of dozens of area shelters along with contact information on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com.
And we have an alert day today, tomorrow, and Sunday for dangerously cold temperatures across the area. And for some of us today, the potential for flash freezing leading to black ice on area roadways. Skywatch Storm Tracker showing the snow into Berry County, southeastern McDonald County, and Benton County out there. And we'll see some additional light snow across the area, but the better chances are going to be along into the east of Highway 69 as we go into the morning and afternoon hours. We also had to deal with severe weather last night. These blue circles are hail reports upwards of 3/4 of an inch in diameter. The green circles, Benton County, those are severe wind gusts from 60 to 70 miles an hour. And these orange circles are wind damage reports. We had some trees and power lines down by last night's storms. Those storms now turning into heavy snow in Chicago. All right, we have winter weather advisories. Kansas, Missouri through noon today. Oklahoma, Arkansas through 10. And again, this isn't necessarily for snow because we're not really expecting much more than maybe a dusting to a half inch. These winter weather advisories are for flash freezing as temperatures continue to fall through the morning. The rain from last night on the roadways could freeze, leading to black ice and dangerous slick spots out there as we head through the afternoon. Wind advisories, Missouri until midnight. Oklahoma, Arkansas until 6, and in these zones, winds could gust 40 to 50 miles an hour out there today. Wind chill watches in southeast Kansas through Tuesday morning. Wind chill warnings in our northern counties through noon on Tuesday. That's where wind chill values could drop upwards of 30 below zero out there. So we do have a high impact from the wind and the cold, a medium impact from the ice with that black ice risk for us today, and a low impact from the snow as it's not expected to be, again, much more than a dusting to a half inch with maybe a localized inch of snow here and there. 24 in Joplin, 20 in Pittsburgh. Keep in mind, we were pushing near 60 degrees yesterday afternoon. We've got the teens over the most of southeastern Kansas out there, 20s overspreading the rest of the area. Wind chills below zero in some cases, at zero, single digits in teens for the rest of us, and it'll continue to stay dangerously cold across the area as we go through our Friday and into the next several days. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. It's Friday, and that means Shannon Becker is with us this morning to share his big 3 stories of the week.
This week, at Wayside Furniture, North Main and Fountain Road in Joplin.
Welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio with us with his big 3 news stories of the week. Good morning, Shannon.
Hello.
How are you doing? What do you
I'm
got for us?
Great. Number 3 this week. It's what's happening live and local here in our immediate area. The 18-car train derailment happened late Friday night into Saturday. It was in Milo, Missouri, which is about just about 10 minutes south of Nevada, off of I-49 right there. An RV camper trailer was hit, still plugged into the electric cord there. Also, a commercial building that was already kind of dilapidated. 18 cars in all, so you're talking about they all just kind of toppled on top of each other. Yeah. It was a big job, and they worked quickly. Missouri Northern Arkansas Railroad, they lined up, they were empty cars, empty what you call coal cars, and all those are all the different wheels. They sat all to the side, and then in about 36 hours they rebuilt the track, about 200 feet of track. Incredible. Look at that, they bring in track that's like put together already. Yeah. I mean, that's not like the Wild West, what I remember.
Right?
You know what I mean? This is pretty fancy. So anyway, it's pretty amazing. No one was hurt. That's the good news, right? And our number 2 story, KOAM News Now, a man in the Joplin Bar District late Saturday night was shot. It happened last fall at the other end of the block at 5th and Joplin. This is at 6th and Joplin. An argument, something occurred, and a man was shot. They are still seeking the shooter, that man is still recovering in an area hospital. I believe he was shot 3 to 4 times right there in the street.
Wow.
Our number 1 story, speaking of in the street, sadly, West 7th Street in front of West Central School between Chestnut and Gray, there's a crosswalk there, and we believe a female, now identified, that is part of her clothing there, was struck by a Ford Explorer that left behind a headlight and part of a grill. Joplin police were able to track that man down through tips that people had seen on different news stories, and he was placed under arrest day before yesterday, just about 2 days after that. He is a local man. He does have probation charges currently. He's on supervised probation, so he'll be facing a lot more charges. And then our bonus story of the week, a little more lighthearted. It's Ollie. How about that cartoon? You like that?
It's a little Einstein,
There's
right?
really a guy named Ollie who started Ollie's. There are over 500 stores across the country. Joplin finally gets one. I'd never heard of it. But if you're talking about bargains, books, carpeting, housewares, health and beauty aids, hardware, hangout,
They've
got it all.
Incredible. I went to one in Tennessee,
Yeah.
and you can buy mattresses there.
Yeah.
You can buy groceries. You can buy any kind of interior design. It's
That's
just like
awesome.
anything and everything is right there.
Good stuff, cheap.
We love that.
Yeah,
all.
so it's at the former Slumberland location.
Thank you.
They did actually, they put up signs that said closing out. They did really go out of business. So, you never know. So they did.
All right. Thanks, Shannon. And stick around because we've got more news coming up right after this.
His favorite premier gaming destination is starting.
Imagine your future differently with Capella University.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:40 now on this Friday morning. We're going to dive right into what we've got going on. Winter weather advisories, Kansas, Missouri through noon, parts of Oklahoma and Arkansas until 10. And again, this is not necessarily for snow. This is for the potential for flash freezing with the rain that fell last night, leading to black ice and slick spots on area roadways. We also have wind chill watches through Tuesday morning for parts of southeast Kansas. Wind chill warnings in our northern counties through noon on Tuesday. And out there, wind chills could be as low as 30 below zero over the next few days. Wind advisories as we go into through today, we got Missouri until midnight, Oklahoma, Arkansas until 6, and in these areas, winds could gust 40 to 50 miles an hour out there. So we do have a high impact from the wind and the cold for this Friday, a medium impact from the ice for that flash freezing potential and the black ice potential, and a low impact from the snow because, again, we are not expecting that much. We're looking at maybe a dusting to a ½ inch across the area. Could see a couple of localized areas of maybe upwards of an inch, but the bigger concern is that glaze of ice where you're not going to see it until you're spinning out on it. So slow down, give yourself time to get where you're going today. We've still got some snow into parts of Berry County, Benton County, southeastern McDonald County showing up on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Severe weather plaguing the southeast. A number of severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado watches, all going in down to central Mississippi, entering Tennessee as well. And then the severe storms we had last night have turned into heavy snow around the Chicagoland area. Left behind this, though, these blue dots are hail reports up to 3/4 of an inch in diameter. The green dots in Benton County measured wind gusts 60, 70 miles an hour. And the orange circles there, those are wind damage reports, where we had some downed trees and power lines in Berry and Benton counties overnight as well. KDOT still showing roughly the same. We've got some slick spots along 75, parts of 54, Burlington, Garnett, Mound City. So you need to watch out there. MoDOT up north and around Kansas City, they've got some road concerns up there, but still reporting clear roadways down here. But again, remember, black ice is difficult to see. So even if this says it's clear, you still need to watch out there. Our camera downtown Joplin on the Cornell Complex blowing in the breeze. That's the other part of our alert day today and over the next few days, actually. And it is cold out there. MoDOT cameras around the area, as you can see, still some wet spots on the roadways, and these are going to begin to freeze if they are not beginning to freeze already. KDOT cameras south of Pittsburgh, again, 69 has some wet spots out there as well, but it does seem to be a bit drier. But still, don't let your guard down. Make sure you're taking it easy out there. In our camera 7th and Rangeline, we had some freezing drizzle, freezing fog earlier, and so that's caused our camera to kind of freeze over a bit out there this morning. Best chances for snow is going to be along and east of the 69 corridor, but we could all see some light snow as we go into today. Again, not going to add up to much. It'll start to roll out of the area, leaving us with cloudy, cold conditions, breezy, and maybe a few flurries here and there. Our Saturday, in terms of snowfall, looks good. We're going to be dry for the most part. Could see a few stray flurries into the afternoon, but that's really about it under partly cloudy skies. But it's still going to be cold. It's going to be dangerously cold and still very breezy out there. Sunday, we start the day below zero in most cases. Clouds increase pretty quickly, and then we're watching another opportunity for some accumulating snowfall. Now, the best chances for accumulating snowfall Sunday appear to be right along this zone and point south, where at least at this point it looks like we could get upwards of 4 inches. Now, it's still likely to change, and we'll have the latest as we go through tonight and into the KOAM news this weekend on Saturday, so make sure you stay tuned. But that looks like the better opportunity for potential accumulating snowfall as we lead into Monday morning. Temperatures around the area, quick check of those. 24 in Joplin, feels like 10. West-northwest breeze gusting upwards of 26. Arctic blast settling in, teens across most of southeast Kansas now, 20s for the rest of us. Remember earlier, Cassville was still close to 40. Wind chill values below zero in parts of southeast Kansas, Independence, Neodesha, Yates Center, Iola, single digits and teens for the most part for the rest of us across the area. So again, dangerously cold out there. Looking at highs in the low 20s today, winds gusting up to 35. And of course, we have those wind advisories where they could be up to 40, 50 miles an hour. Down to zero tonight. Winds a little calmer, but they'll pick up again on our Saturday under partly cloudy skies. We're going to watch those snow chances. Again, alert days through Sunday, possible alert days Monday and Tuesday as dangerously cold temperatures hold on. A brief warm up Wednesday, Thursday, more snow chances Thursday, cold again Friday and Saturday, back in the low 30s by Sunday. That's check your forecast. Now we're going to send it over to Caitlin for Consumer Watch.
Energy and housing costs drive inflation higher than expected in December. The Labor Department's Consumer Price Index rose 0.3% for the month, higher than what economists surveyed by Refinitiv were expecting. The main driver of the increase was housing. The price of rent rose 0.4%, and the other big driver was energy, which also rose -4%. Rent price is the bigger concern because it is more directly affecting of the household budgets. Food prices were also higher in December, 0.2% from a month earlier. And a new high-tech creation could change how you project your true self through 3D holograms. HoloConnects, a Netherlands-based company, has created the HoloBox, a new hologram-style imaging system that can create a lifelike version of the user. The new device has a transparent 86-inch screen with advanced software and hardware components. Users can create the 3D hologram image by using a 4K camera that can be projected anywhere in the world if you have a HoloBox and internet connection. Creators hope the hologram images of loved ones and friends will help those who are feeling isolated and lonely, especially for the elderly, as well as add a little more depth to how we communicate.
Coming out of the pandemic, a lot of people got isolated. Some of them got quite comfortable being isolated, and that was not a good thing. Now we're in a position where we can actually deliver lifelike exchanges and human engagement in different places. Elder care, it would allow people to visit elders in their different facilities that they might be in and still have a lifelike experience, not just a television.
Looking at it and talking with the person here definitely feels more real, which I appreciate, especially in a world where we're becoming more digital. So I think it is a cool experience, something that I would use, yes.
At home, can I have one at home? Like a magic mirror?
Be prepared to spend a pretty penny for the 3D tech device. HoloConnects estimates the 86-inch HoloBox will cost about $40,000 to $50,000, but a HoloBox mini version, which has a 22-inch screen, will run about $7,000 to $10,000. And we'll be right back with more after this, but first let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
After you've been KOAM News Now app today, your gateway to news your way. Powered by KOAM News Now.
There's a ministry group at the northern edge of the big country that offers help for emergency home repairs. The organization is based in Monday, Texas, but they are offering help for people across the country.
Ashley Avera went to Monday to get the story.
My house was empty, but now it's full of stuff because Jesse just keeps giving me things. He brought me a piano.
Jeannie Johnson in Monday is counting her blessings.
Put in new windows and he put in plumbing and he refurbished the house so it could be lived in because it wasn't livable.
Receiving free emergency home repairs from My Rock Ministry.
Senior citizens and disabled, we were trying to keep their houses warm, fix old floors, put in grab bars, wheelchair ramps, and just different kind of things like that.
Jesse Villanueva and his family have been providing these services in Knox County for nearly 4 years for those who are low income.
But sometimes that paycheck to paycheck, it only covers the rent, it covers their bills, sometimes their car payment, and just their insurance.
But recently, they were added to Abilene 211, a database connecting people to local resources.
Helping Hand 211 added us to their database. It's a program of My Rock Ministry Incorporated.
Meaning their coverage area has grown.
Anson, Sweetwater, Clyde.
Able to expand their coverage to those like Maria Santos in Abilene.
I'm a single mom and I needed a water heater, so he just gave it to me. Whenever I went to Lowe's, the water heater cost like $250, maybe $300, so that helped a lot.
While a water heater might seem like a small act, it makes a big difference.
It's just a simple repair that brings down the happiness and it's a restoration. It restores their life.
But Villanueva says they are in need of volunteers to continue their mission.
The calls that we do get, we have been able to successfully complete 333 calls last year alone.
Villanueva says majority of the calls to My Rock Ministry are directed there by Abilene 211. The ministry is all volunteer and donation based. People who want to donate or volunteer may reach out to My Rock Ministry on Facebook.
It's always great to see folks helping other people out.
Absolutely,
especially
Chris.
when they need it. And in terms of help that we might need, we're talking about slick spots on area roadways out there. Goodness, excuse me. Skywatch Storm Tracker showing some snow still into Berry County and Benton County out there. I am going to need to find some water here. We have got otherwise cloudy skies, temperatures continuing to drop around the area. We're looking at maybe a dusting up to a ½ inch of snow around the region. Best chances for any of that really along into the east of 69. We also dealt with severe weather last night. Some wind damage reports out there as well. Down trees and power lines in Berry and Benton counties. Wind advisories, Kansas, Missouri through noon. Oklahoma, Arkansas through 10 a.m. Wind advisories in Missouri through midnight and until 6 for Oklahoma Oklahoma and Arkansas. Wind gusts up to 40, 50 miles an hour. And those winter weather advisories for the potential for black ice and flash freezing as temperatures continue to fall this morning with the water on the roadways from last night's rain. Wind chill watches through Tuesday morning, parts of southeast Kansas. Wind chill warnings in our northern counties through noon on Tuesday, where those wind chills could drop upwards of 30 below zero. We're going to talk more about your forecast and have a look at the news you need to know right after this.
I'm not coming out until Casey's has thin crust.
Kansas native served with honor, duty, and valor for his country. We are proud to salute Richard Watkins, a four-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Police in Aurora, Missouri say a man stole a gaming machine from a store by pretending to be from a company called Torch and walking out with it. This is surveillance video of the incident. It happened around 6:30 Wednesday evening at the Shiner store at 3100 South Elliott in Aurora. Authorities are now searching for the man and the U-Haul box truck he loaded the machine into. The license plate number of the truck is AH27088 with an unknown state. And an animal shelter in Miami is offering residents free straw to keep animals warm during the coming deep freeze. Residents can pick up the straw at the Catcher Kahili Animal Shelter at 725 D Street Northeast. The shelter bought the straw using a donation from Nestle Purina Pet Care. It's available on a first-come, first-served basis. And as the temperatures drop, Spire Energy is sharing some tips to help you save on your energy bill. They recommend sealing areas around your home where air could get in, including windows, chimneys, closets, and doors that lead outside. You may also save by replacing furnace filters and installing a programmable thermostat.
All right, we got winter weather advisories for black ice potential for some of us. We have wind chill warnings and wind chill watches for parts of Kansas for wind chills up to 30 below. And we've got wind advisories in Missouri, Oklahoma, and Arkansas for winds gusting upwards of 40 to 50 miles an hour today. A lot going on. Low 20s for our highs today out there. Some light snow possible, but no major accumulations. Down to 0 tonight. Winds calm down briefly at least. And those dangerous wind chills hold on. 20 tomorrow, partly cloudy skies. Wind chills below 0 in many cases. And as we look down the road, we're going to stay below normal and in dangerously cold temperature territory. Alert days today, tomorrow, Sunday, possible alert days Monday, Tuesday. More snow possible on Sunday. Highs in the teens, lows at or below 0.
And skiers slowed their runs to allow a porcupine to trudge across a slope at the Alta Ski Area Resort in Utah's Little Cottonwood Canyon.
The area is home to many porcupines, and staff at the resort have named several of the more recognizable little critters. Resident rodents in the last few years have included Fluffy, Snuggles, and Blitz. Porcupine captured in this video, this one's named Nuzzles.
All right, that's pretty cute.
Got to watch out for them, though, while you're
Gotta
skiing.
watch
You do
out
not want to
for them.
run into one of those. Well, thank you all so much for letting us put the good in your morning.
We'll be back today with more news at noon.